So,
Yep.
can you find the Astronomicon?
That's a good question. Nope, I lost it.
I had it and I lost it.
Did you leave it under the sofa?
That's what is that? That's like
Rather
It's
than
not
grey,
good.
we're going sin.
That's only a 1 degree success failure, though, I think.
Yeah, remember
yeah.
you're
Yeah,
off
so-
plus 20. So
Right, so make your charting the warp test
Yep.
at -10 because of that failure.
I don't know. This is going to be a long trip.
Oh lordy.
Well, that just means that you don't get the plus 20.
Yep.
So steering the vessel, which again is -10. I think that's just a failure, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got 42 nav warp as default.
Right, so that's 8 days in the warp.
Okay, could be worse. Could be 200 and something.
yeah,
God.
that's
I think
the-
that is actually now our new low standard, to be honest.
Yep, that'll get us.
it's
Ah,
just
Someday I'll get a
enjoy
real book.
having
I'll
somebody
have book
like,
books in.
double the skill of like Gray just for the base is like at least it keeps us from spending like 20 plus days in the warp or something ridiculous.
True, true.
Synixia's track record is still better at this point. Like she'd have to work overtime to.
Yeah.
She'd have to
something-
actually actively let the Gellerfields down in the middle of the warp to really start getting down to that level, to be honest.
Okay, so
Don't try that.
we get one encounter of the warp if you'd like to roll that.
Yep, that's one of those.
You might want to re-roll that one.
we need
What
to get
happens on a natural 2 out of interest?
Reality erosion.
Oh god, reroll.
Yeah, you have a free reroll.
Oh god!
Fake reroll. Fake.
Fake.
I
Fake.
think we're going to go a
Fake, you
little off
fuck.
track here.
Fake.
We can't. That's the thing, you can only fate a dice once.
No,
So
but
That wasn't the fate, though.
No,
That
no,
was
no.
a.
god.
The warp's vein hole. That was the warp's vein hole.
Yeah, that was the one. Let's see if I can roll below 10 a third time in a row. Not quite. Third.
Better.
That's
Wow.
with that warp table.
Okay,
Sigsha!
so your choices are...
Okay.
Which one did you fate point, by the way?
The last one is my fate point.
Yeah, which one of those two rolls did you roll fate point on?
Oh, yeah, we're going the 7.
7. So your choices are reality erosion or ghost ships.
I like ghost ships.
I was going to say,
Look at that.
reality erosion sounds really bad.
What's the effect?
The sector. So as you're moving through the warp, your sensors detect another ship out there. It's close and big.
Battle stations, Captain?
Wait, is it like? Yeah, okay, we detect it. And
Okay.
is there like any immediate?
It seems to be holding station nearby. Are you going to investigate or
It's while in the
Nah.
warp.
is
While
it
in
the
the
warp?
Officer vote. What are you guys feeling?
Invade.
Yeah, at the very least, we should actively auspex it.
We could do that. Let's actively
Yeah,
also. I'm so cautious right now. This is we're in the warp. This is a novel encounter. Let's see what happens. But
Yep. Okay. Hit your specs.
I can aid the machine spirits to give a bonus to that.
Might want that, actually, at this stage.
Yeah. So let's see. That's my 60 plus 10, 10 for the actual machine spirits, and 10 for the multi-tool.
hover. I'm like I am so hovering. This entire thing is just creeping me out. So
Should you hover me? I mean, I'm already at 90. If you hover the actual Auspex itself, that would be better.
oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going up against 90 here.
So that's
3 degrees of success.
that's plus plus 15 to the next roll.
Yep.
Who's going to roll the auspex, which is a scrutiny plus detection test.
Sorry about that, guys. Once in a lifetime opportunities and all that.
No, clearly.
Yeah, we found a ship too. In the warp.
Yeah, look at those rolls.
We ro-
The
we ro-
2, the 7, and the 20 are the warp encounter rolls. Normally those would be awesome rolls, but we want to roll high.
Not in the warp. Not in the warp.
What happens in the warp stays in the warp.
We'd hope.
Right. So who's making the scrutiny check?
I don't have scrutiny, so probably not me.
I had the same problem. I only got like 22. Surely someone's got better.
Well, yeah. With the penalty, I have 19, so...
Let me-
really want me so I can make it. We probably won't survive.
I think this is where you want your pilot, isn't it? Because he's the only guy who's
Yeah.
got the skill.
Oh, God, Cole's the guy with scrutiny, isn't he?
Yep.
Oops.
He's currently... you bought far too much arm sec, and he is passed out somewhere.
Well,
Yeah,
we
he's
can
just-
use the crew.
He's on an
Yeah, we
Amasec
can-
IV in the Medicaid's office.
Yeah, we can do the crew roll at 30
Yep.
with a hover, with a 15, with the detection that we have on our ship, which is not bad.
Your detection is 13.
So that's 20, 30, no, sorry, 30, 38 plus 38, so
Yep.
it's
68.
68.
Yeah,
Just-
this thing is flicking in and out of reality. For a second your sensors say it's there, and then it's not. But the navigator can pretty much see this thing looming in space. Well, the warp.
Right. I'm normally not going to do this, but I captain veto any attempt to board that ship. We're getting the fuck out of here.
Agreed.
If we had gotten a solid auspex on it, maybe. But all that the auspex is telling us is that thing isn't even really there. So.
Oh, that's always good to know.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. In the warp, if we had run a really good auspex, I might be amenable to us trying to see what the hell's on it.
Hmm.
But since we
Now
haven't.
that might even be an interesting adventure there.
Yes, but all we know enough of here is the standard. We're in the warp. This thing is sort of happening. Shall we? I say no. So let's just carry on.
Right.
I'm not a. Ash is not a fun haver in the warp.
Not many people are.
Aw.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Let's.
Okay, so you arrive in the Lucian's breath.
What a trip.
Only slightly behind schedule this time.
Only slightly, but only 90 days behind schedule this time.
Meh.
So it's fine. We've nearly covered another year of real time this session. We've only been
What's
going
the
for
matter
about
with that?
absolutely nothing.
So, assuming anyone who wants to join me, I'll be taking a trip to meet our little.
Actually,
friend.
as you enter system, you notice that there are a couple of ships here that
Oh.
are definitely not from the mining ships. They're definitely warships.
Oh.
Okay, so we've
Good
exited.
thing we left the slaves behind.
Yeah, good thing we did. Really good thing we did.
So
Are they?
these are-
Do they look like they're just stationed on Lucian's breath, or are they?
Yep, they are basically they're in orbit. Docked up as you'd expect, but as you get closer, you pretty much realise that they are. There's two quite small warships, but they're warships nonetheless.
Are
so
they-
frigate class.
Are they Imperial Navy? Like, do they look like Imperial Navy ships? Or are
No,
we-
they look very old.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do they look human?
Oh yes, they're definitely human.
Okay. A few hairs rise on the back of Esh's.
Yes, they did as they should. Because you think you might recognise these ships.
Yeah, there's something slightly familiar about these ships, isn't there? I just can't quite put my finger on it. Damn.
You think that they're iconoclast class destroyers. More than
In character, no idea. Out of character. Oh crap.
No, they're quite small. It's just that Ash can't quite put his finger on why these things look familiar. Is
So-
there anything Ash could roll? But I mean, I guess that we still have business on Lucian's breath. So
Yep.
Well, an awareness check if you're recognizing them.
Common law
Wouldn't it
road
be?
traders actually would be the perfect one for this.
common lore rogue traders. I've got that at 40 right now.
Yep.
Can I take my time as we're pulling
yep.
in, or
I'm
Okay.
going to give you an extra plus 30 to this.
okay? I am going to. He's scratching. Esh is scratching his head so much that fate conspires to re-roll this. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Yeah, as you get closer, you recognise these ships. These are the Zircon and the Zerlane,
They're
which happen to be the two main ships of the Zerzan dynasty.
fuck.
Yes.
Well, Ash's face turns ashen. He turns to his officers and he says, "We may have some trouble on Lucian's breath. These guys, these ships belong to the Zerzan dynasty, and back in Calyx, that dynasty and the Bashira did not get along, to put it in the simplest terms. I might even say that they were the reason I'm in the Expanse rather than back in Calyx."
So why are they following
Follow
you?
smashing.
They this would be a good time to tell my officers that the Omniscience shield was considered the grand prize in our little dynasty spat, and though the Zerzan managed to pretty much wreck us back in Calyx, I made off with it. I think they still want the Omniscience shield.
We should give them the main guns.
Well, not this.
Yes.
Not as much as I would like
And our
to
servitors.
to deal with these guys right away. They are closer to Lucian's breath than I'd like. We have business on Lucian's breath. We have to balance these two things a little bit. Like, sorry I didn't mention this earlier, chaps. It's just we all kind of left things behind in Calyx, I'm sure. So I was kind of hoping I'd have more time before we have to deal with these guys, but
Apparently not.
apparently not. In all honesty, I'd rather not pick a fight if we can, at least until we get the full measure of what they're doing in the Expanse beyond looking for the shield. In fact, is it possible? Have our sensors picked up us being auspex or anything?
Nope. There's nothing active coming from them.
So they're inactive right now? That means that most of their crews are on the planet?
Doesn't mean that at all. It just means that they're docked.
And that they
not-
haven't.
They haven't powered
I mean-
weapons. They haven't powered void shields. Well, they got void shields on because all ships have void shields all the time, just to stop
But they
space
haven't
debris.
undocked.
My suggestion would be find a dock on the other side of Lucian's breath for now. Try to conduct our business as quickly, as quietly as possible. Because I'm just pointing out that they are docked on Lucian's breath, and we need Lucian's breath services. I would not want to open fire on their docking facilities.
No, absolutely. But what's stopping them from interfering with our business on planet,
Nothing
or indeed our
either.
long-term affairs on planet when we're not there?
Well, nothing right now, but we have the advantage of them not knowing we're here. If possible, I'd like to get the drop on them information-wise. The thing about House Zerzan is it's unlikely that their leadership is on either of the ships. Let's just say me and him go back a bit. They're not gonna. If he's not gonna be on the ships, we might as well not immediately make a move. These guys are gonna be tricky customers either way. So
And I'm going to assume that he's going to recognise this ship straight away if he does see it.
oh
And-
yes,
yes.
I'm basing our assumption of having a shot at doing this quietly on the fact that we haven't been auspexed. We've visualed them, but they haven't visualed us yet. So let's try to make this quiet, and if they come after us, well, we'll deal with that then.
Now we really need to get a second warship. If they've got two, then
I could do an inquiry, seeing what brings them. I could do some inquiry, see what they're doing here and what their plans are.
Actually, is it possible for us to settle somewhere that doesn't include, like, is there anywhere in Lucian's Breath, like a less used area where we could leave our ship close by and use a teleportorium to go down to put us some distance so that we're not?
Yeah,
right on
you can
top
move
of
to the other side of the planet. Do you want to make someone make me a stealth check for the ship?
Move silently, or
Move silent, yes, not stealth. Because
I've got 32 silent move.
yeah, that doesn't count for the ship.
Oh,
yeah, kind of hard to do
We
that.
can pilot.
You can sneak on the ship just fine, but
Yeah, you're like really quiet on the ship, but the ship itself is a 2 kilometer piece of metal.
yeah,
yes. So what would be the ship-to-ship thing?
this isn't exactly the Das Boot, you know. So we don't exactly have silent running, but I guess we do have there's silent running mode, so we can just, like, the moment we made visual contact with those, we can order move silent to the other side of Lucian's Breath.
Yep.
Just a case of what we have to roll here.
Silent running is an ordinary pilot spacecraft plus maneuverability test.
Pilot.
Well, once
I
more.
Who aside from a telepath is a pilot?
I am.
What
You
value?
are our telepath.
Yes. Has anyone else got pilot starship?
I got pilot ground vehicle.
Unless you crash the ship, no.
I will not crash this ship, I swear.
Well, now we really
Well,
know
you
a
can
pilot.
tell that Ash is going to be hovering like like he's never hovered before.
Yeah.
Because he's just given his ship to an astropath. He spent a long time in the war.
What's your piloting looking at?
36.
Okay, well, I'll take those 6 points. Can we aid the machine spirit on this one as well?
No.
That would be
No.
maneuverability.
Maneuver. Okay, never mind. So what's you rolling against?
That'd be plus 30, because your maneuverability is 20, and your it's an ordinary test.
Okay, so that's 66.
I did it.
And he just, yeah, as soon as you realise what you're dealing with, everything but the running lights go off. The ship goes dark, and engines just kind of pulse once, and you drift silently into a nice, neat geosynchronous orbit on the other side of the planet.
All right.
As far as you know, you've not actually been detected.
I'm
So
just gonna
now
say-
would be a really bad time to play loud Omniscia music then.
No, that makes no difference at all, because there's a void in between you. So no one on the ship has to actually be quiet, because sound doesn't travel through space. It's all about electricity. So you don't want to use too much power, because that's what can be detected.
Oh, so we might actually want to use the shuttles then. The teleportorium might be a bit of a flare.
Yeah, the teleportorium, probably would
Is it-
use a lot more power than the shuttles.
Shuttles it is then, actually.
Yeah, that probably would be safer.
Yep.
Okay, as you come in, are you going to announce your presence?
Not loudly. As in we're going to how do
Basically-
we do this actually?
Are you going to say you're here? Because no one knows you're here now. Not even.
Is there an astropath? Is there an astropath on the planet?
Oh yeah, there'll be fast all over the planet.
I'll be friends with the governor. Because I get astropath to the governor's astropath.
Yeah.
And that'd be very quiet.
Yep, you could give that a go.
Alrighty. What is the role for astropath?
That's what
Give me
I
a
was about
second.
to do. Psychic powers.
Willpower.
Yep.
At I can't do it. I need to do it No, invocation roll first for a +1. I think. Okay, so I have +1 to psi power, so I can do this fitted rather than unfitted.
Right.
Right? So that way, if I fail, we're not all going to die. And
Right.
so it's a +20,
That's
and I'm at +40 as well. I'm at +5 for my willpower. So that's +70. Did I pass?
Yes. And you rolled a 9, but luckily, because you're fetters, that doesn't deal anything. But yes.
Phew.
Once again, so yes, you're able to contact the governor's personal astropath. Are you informing him that you're in orbit and you want to stay silent?
Yes.
Yes.
We inform him that we have business with him, but we have other business on the planet that we don't want to be aware of us, shall we put it? Like, there's other individuals on the planet who we don't want them to be aware that we're there.
Yeah, the message coming back is, I assume you mean the ambassador Zerzan, who has arrived with these 2 ships. Currently in business negotiations with him and his wife, but will be willing to allow you to enter our airspace without firing. Do not want battle above planet.
Communicate. Can I communicate something back, or is this just like a really?
Oh yeah, this is this can be a 2-way conversation. That's fine.
I want to ask the governor. I make that promise to the governor that as much as possible we will keep any engagements, should they occur, away from Lucian's breath. He has my word as a rogue trader on that. I would just like to ask him if he will be amenable to meet with us after meeting with the governor. If meeting with the governor is causing us... how should I phrase this? Does meeting with the governor preclude meeting with us in any way, shape, or form?
No, he's happy to meet you both.
Fair enough. He can communicate back when the governor is the ambassador is well away, and we'll move in.
Yep. Okay, so you can pilot down to the planet. I won't make a roll for that.
I want to point out to everyone that we, just for the sake of safety, we better have our weapons ready. Not necessarily out and in our hands, but certainly ready for anything that might happen.
Yeah. So what are you taking? Sidearms or full on?
Well, I'm taking sidearms. I don't really have a full on, so.
I have.
Well,
I
that's just my
have
normal gear.
nothing but a full on.
Okay.
How to use pistols?
Not necessarily. Again, I wouldn't suggest that we walk in like in full war formation, but yeah, we'd probably want to be carrying guns.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yep, that's fine. Just it's going to affect how people deal with you. If you're carrying sidearms, people are going to be a bit more willing to deal with if you're carrying a proper arsenal like bolters. Although the guy in the power armor is going to make people look twice anyway.
Yeah, fair point.
Yay,
Even if he is the
power.
unsettled psyker.
That's not going to help their attitude much.
What, the guy with no eyes in the power armor?
It'll give
He's
an
wearing a
impression.
helmet, so they wouldn't be able to notice.
Oh yeah, true.
I'll take the helmet off to make them more at ease.
Well, at least we'll be only using intimidate actions.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're going for one of the smaller cities rather than right outside the governor's mansion.
Yeah, we'll at least wait until we get a communication back.
Okay, so while you're here, what you're looking for?
Well, there's no reason we can't double up on what we're trying to do. I mean, obviously, the governor would be the best route to seeing if we can find a transport, but there's no reason that we can't put out feelers for it. As we wait, some subtle inquiries and so on and so forth into old transport vessels, old mining barges that had decent hulls that may have seen better days, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Ones
That'd be
the
an
mining
inquiry.
world won't miss.
Yeah, that'd be an inquiry test.
Well, that's Trust's
That's trust.
area of expertise.
So I guess we're just gonna have to trust him.
Yes, indeed. Alright, so what am I rolling exactly? I want to make sure what my bonuses here.
Inquiry.
Inquiry? Alright.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I don't think my librarian helps that, so...
We're not even on the ship, so.
Ah, yeah.
On
Alright,
that side.
let's see. Alright, that's 46,
Plus the hover.
56. Boom!
Okay, so there's not that many ships in the area. Most of the ones that come to Lucian's Breath are owned by merchant cartels, stuff like that. There's not really the expanse being what it is. There's no real such thing as a junkyard for ships. All ships get patched up and used again. On the other hand, though, you do hear that these new guys in the area, the Zerzans, do have their own transport that comes in every so often.
To Lucian's Breath?
Yep, it comes into Lucian's Breath every few months, collects ore, and then jumps out again.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that we don't know where to.
No, they don't know. They just know they come in and collect. They don't let the crew down. But apparently they turned up about a year and a half ago, real time, and they've made three or four jumps so far.
If only we didn't spend so much time in the warp.
Oh yeah, about to say, because that for you've not been back to Footfall, to Lucian's Breath in about 2 years now, 2-3 years.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, this is kind of started happening since you were last here.
Well, let's file away this piece of information for later. We can, we certainly want to know what they're doing in the Expanse, but that shouldn't become necessarily the... Well, let me put it this way, gentlemen. I don't necessarily want to import the degree to which our rivalry had occurred in Calyx over into the Expanse. We're here to make money, not fight wars.
Or make money by fighting wars. Just somebody else's wars.
Well, exactly. Very well said.
Yeah, profitable wars.
Yeah, exactly. Getting ourselves involved directly, well, there's less money to be made in that.
Yeah, the front lines are not where profit is in war.
Yeah. So let's file that away. Do we want to do anything else before we wait for the governor to call us?
Oh, I got nothing.
Should we pick up server tools while we're here?
What did you just say?
Should we pick up server tools while we're here? Sorry, my voice is really bad at the moment.
No, it's alright, man.
Pick up
server tools.
Might be a good call, actually.
So, what type of servitors are you looking for?
The ones that make things or whatever. The ones that don't fight.
Just like the
Worker
basic ones, like the worker ones, like the labor servitors.
Yeah, they should be fairly easy to come across. That's what they pretty much do with anyone who gets themselves near killed in the mines. Basically, rebuild them and send them back into the mines.
Nice.
We could do with a few of those. Certainly for the harder labor on our profit world.
How many could we find on this planet easily?
You could probably get your hands on about 1,000. I mean, you got to remember this place is still quite labour scrap, even with your regular ships from Terra Nova. They're still quite hurting on labour. They're still expanding their facilities quite rapidly. But they think they could. You could probably have a go at finding 1,000, which is a good number for a good starting colony.
It's worth a go.
That is worth a go.
It's worth a go. Let's see.
It's a really good thing that we didn't get into the cold trade, though.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I would like to point out in sort of like an out of character way that it would have kept us away from Lucian's Breath, and the Zerzans seem to be... I'm just pointing out that we would be on the other side of the Expanse, but...
Well, we'd still need to get the stuff out of the Expanse, and that's into the Colexi sector, or whatever the hell they call it.
Motherfuckers, yeah. We're gonna...
Yeah,
That's the problem.
Rolling vendettas on character creation, people.
See, I just took the sensible thing and had the enemy be the Ecclesiarchy. It's not like they're ever going to show up. Oh, wait.
Why did you say that?
New ship enters the system.
Because I am
in the
suicidal.
next the next sessions, cue a sequence of every single one of our past coming back to haunt us.
No, not in one
Yes.
session. I've got to span that out over several sessions, so you get
Yeah,
one a session for the next 5
Yeah,
sessions.
we end up. It ends up in a situation
God
like it's
damn it!
like a league of evil, like just conspiring against us. Like, gentlemen, how do we kill the Omniscience shield? Like,
Hey, I don't have any enemies. I have Peer.
For now.
you know. So, did you roll acquisition, Sebastian?
That would be the 53, I think.
I'd say that'd be enough to get your servitors.
We got some basic labor servitors. Excellent.
Yep, you got 1,000.
Do you think I could roll an acquisition? I really want to get that the Mechadendrite.
Yeah, you got more chance of finding it here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for medical Mechadendrite. Hey,
Right.
guess what advance I'm going to be taking after this session?
I don't
Can't
know. You
guess.
bought a medikit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with War Imperium.
Anyway,
Here.
so it would be. Page is that? Shit.
Where is the? Oh, there it is. Medical mentor is a very rare,
Yep, 270. Oops, shit.
which very rare
Very rare.
is minus
would
20,
be- Yep, minus 20.
plus 10
But
because
I'm
it's
getting
1.
I'm getting only one, so that's plus 10 total.
Yeah.
And I would like to get good quality.
Right, that's minus 10, so that's a 0. 50-50
Yep.
chance.
Hmm?
It gives you a 50-50 chance, pretty much.
Yep. Let's see, what is... I'm just trying to find out where the medical Mechadendrite is of the armory.
I can totally hover for acquisition rolls, can I? Or
No.
no? Okay, that's not. Yeah. Okay, you're right.
Medical is on 150.
Alright, hang on, I gotta get to that page. Ah, here we go. That's utility. Yeah, Medicaid, that with a... Actually, I don't think they have qualities on these. Medical Mechadendrite can be used to gain a plus 10 on interrogation. Huh. It doesn't have a quality.
No, it doesn't
So-
look like it has a quality.
So just its plus 10 roll to it. What's our... Alright. Let's roll. Percentile plus... Oh,
10. Yep. Yeah,
Sweet.
they happen to have one they just got off the, just arrived.
I have that attached to me.
You've got to. You have to roll to get one attached, don't you? Or is it Mechadendrite? Just you attach it.
I actually have hard points for him.
Ah,
Yeah, it's a bit different for him because he's kind of got all the sockets. He just hasn't had anything put into them yet.
yeah.
Right now I can carry what's toughness. Yeah, I can carry 5 Mechadendrites on me with up to 6 if I get my toughness up 10.
Nice. How many do you currently have with the medical one?
1.
Oh, this is your first. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Okay, so once that's been attached, you hear the occasional scream as it's bolted on. Not quite sure whose it is, but
He'll be fine. He's used to this.
Yeah, I am used to it. I mean, the MIU was much more invasive.
the guys wore rubber gloves for that one.